well been abandoned equipment. Parts milks at a very rapid rate because of the precipitate, calcium soap, and because of the alkalinity. Phosphates, as you all know, do form milkstone, but not so rapidly as soap. On the other hand, form no milkstone at all. In fact, they tend to dissolve it. Not speaking of the acid milkstone removers now, but simple wetting agent. If a piece of equipment that has milkstone in it is cleaned with wetting agent regularly for a period of 5 or 6 weeks, you'll find that the milkstone has disappeared completely and will never redeposit as long as only wetting agent is used.
Well, now, you're speaking there of the effect on the milk. How about the butter fat?
Well, you know that anything that comes in contact with milk will acquire a film of butter fat on the surface. And it's very necessary in cleaning that equipment to get the butter fat off. Phosphates have any dispersing effect. They don't wash. They don't tend to dissolve grease. Their action in removing butter fat is only mechanical. They help you to scrub it off. But wetting agents are what the physical chemist calls excellent emulsifiers. A solution of wetting agent mixed with butter fat, shaken 1 or 2 times, will give you a cream, something like mayonnaise, depending on the concentration, but a mixture that will rinse absolutely free, carry all the butter fat. The net result is that it's simply necessary to rinse a piece of equipment that has butter fat on it with a warm solution of wetting agent, and the butter fat is swept right off.
Well, now, of course, in washing milk or a cream separator, we're also interested in the drainage.
In general, what we call clean is not clean. You can clean your windows just as well as you can so that they shine, and there'll still be a tiny film of grease on the surface. You can tell that by the fact that on the surface, they'll run off in droplets, and single drops will hang. The same thing takes place inside the cream separator or milking machine when it's rinsed with water. Unless it's been cleaned completely, the water will hang in droplets which will evaporate, and the bacteria, nutrients of bacteria that was in that water will be deposited on the surface.
And your wetting agents remove it, don't they?
Well, they certainly do. If you dip that same surface into a solution of wetting agent and let it drain, you'll find the water running off smooth and clean in a continuous film. If you hold it for a minute or so, you'll find there's no trace of water left on the surface. It's simply drained dry because the wetting agent solution gets right under the film of grease and lifts it off, and a perfectly clean surface will drain in a continuous film.
Well, now, Mr. Percy, I think you've given us some very good here why we should use wetting agents. But you know, Art Rudnick, our extensive dairyman, is always telling us that it's a lot easier than wash them in 2 minutes.
Well, I said it myself the first time I tried.
Well, then it is a lot easier, isn't it?
It is. I don't think there's any doubt of that. I've seen a large cream separator taken apart, and this is a very large one, had about 150 discs, 12 inches in diameter. Half the discs were one method by scrubbing up in phosphate. The other half was simply put on the holder, dipped into a solution of wetting agent, then to clean water, and hung up to drain dry. The discs were scrubbed individually in phosphate cleaner, had a whitish film on them, felt slightly greasy, and did anything but shine. It took one man about 15 minutes to clean those 75 discs. The 75 discs were dipped in wetting agent, rinsed off and hung up to dry, had drained dry in about 2 minutes. Total working time on the discs was only half a minute, and they were so clean that you run your finger over and not feel the slightest trace of grease or flies.
Okay, and of course that means cleaner equipment and a better product. You've just heard from Dr. J.H. Percy of the Colgate Palmolive Peat Company of Jersey City, New Jersey, who told us a little more about wetting agents, which a lot of you farmers are using.